cold for like a minute,
exactly.
and then I'll make it warm. But it's like all the way cold. I didn't start like that, but now it's just like all the way cold. So yeah, I have like a lot of health practices, both for my mind and my body, that I tend to every day, as well as like materials, like success practices. So I like to think about it as like I have physical success practices, mental success practices, because when people think of success, they think of just like, oh, I gotta get money. That's something that I usually do every day too. I usually earn a little bit of money every single day, right? But success, there's different categories of success, and it's important to focus on like all of them, not just one, right? So I make sure I tend to all those every day.
So what
also,
is the biggest,
reading is on my list.
What is the biggest component of success for you then?
The biggest component
Like
of
if
success.
let's say you have 10 of them, right?
Yeah.
And you do one in any given day, and that
I do
would
all of
suffice.
them. I tend to all of them in any given day.
Right.
And
But which one do you prioritize the most?
That's a good question. I would say like physical and mental health is my priority. Because
So what do you do for physical? Let's just talk about that.
so I exercise every single day.
What type of exercise?
Whether that's lifting weights, depending on like I started training jiu-jitsu, so I'm doing that now. I've been doing that for a couple months. So instead of lifting weights like 6 days a week, I'm lifting weights like 4 days a week, training jiu-jitsu 5 days a week. Oftentimes it'll be like the same day. I'm training weights and jiu-jitsu. I bike a lot. I'm just like really active. I love to play sports. So it's like some people find it difficult to be active and like get their physical activity in. I'm actually the opposite. I find it difficult to like, and once you really like feel how good it is to move in your body, and you get good at moving your body, play some sports, have some fun, you know, you're gonna realize like you're gonna find that it's hard not to be physically active all the time. So my problem isn't that I have to make sure I get my exercise in, it's I have to make sure I don't do too much.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, sometimes
So
I
just
don't
so
want to
you
lift
know,
weights.
for a
but I
lot of
do.
people, it's the exact opposite.
Yeah, exactly.
Exact opposite. So a lot of people everywhere in the world, they just can't do enough. They're not doing enough, rather. And some of them just can't get out of bed. So what is your number one piece of advice to them? What do you think?
Well, if you can't get out of bed, that's different, right? So we got to look at the issues here. We got to address issues at the root. When you think about plucking a weed out of the ground, if you pluck just the flower on top, the roots are still in the ground, it's going to grow again. So if you want to get the weed out, you got to get the roots too. So we have to go all the way to what's causing this as like primarily first thing that's causing it. So if you can't get out of bed, you have a lot of self-reflection to do as to why. Obviously, if you're in that condition, you're probably fairly depressed, you know, not feeling motivated about life. And it's really hard to bring yourself into taking, I know it can be really hard to like bring yourself to taking some action steps, but I think the most important thing, if I'm just giving like one piece of general advice, is try to find yourself some good action steps to take. And then try to do just 1% better today than you did yesterday. And you know, you can have an off day, but as far as off days going, or as far as having an off day goes, try not to like regress twice in a row. You know, try to get just a little bit better each day. Because if you try to shoot for 100% right away, you're just going to be sad about the fact that you're jumping to 100 and then you're going to fall back down because you can't reach.
Right.
But if you go to 1%, oh, okay, that's a little bit better. Maybe tomorrow I can go to 2%.
So aiming too high in this case is actually undesirable. You don't want to do that. You don't want to aim too high, because then if you fail, you're going to feel shitty about yourself.
Well, I have a couple remarks to make on that. I don't think that we should put any limitations on our long-term big picture goals, right? So when you're looking at what do I want my dream life to be like, long-term vision, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, I wouldn't say you have to put a cap on that, because then you can make anything happen in 5 years that you put your mind to. So dream as big as you can long term, but as far as setting goals in the short term goes, which is very important to getting to your long term goals, don't set the bar to an unrealistic place where you think you're going to go from 0 to 100 overnight, because that's not how it works. You can go from 0 to 100 over the course of 5 years, but you got to, or 100 days for the sake of an example here, but you got to go to 1, then you got to go to 2, then you got to go to 3. Really, it's about it's the compounding effect of small gains every day that makes a huge difference, and it's going to get you the results that you want in a matter of time.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.